Hi, I'm Yael Teagle. I am sitting down with Marc Bernardin and Tiffany Smith. Hello.
Hello.
I want to talk about you both being essentially professional nerds.
Yes.
Tell me how you turned being a nerd into a career. Marc.
I was a journalist first for about 20 years. I worked at outlets like Starlog Magazine, Fangoria, Entertainment Weekly, LA Times, and I was the resident nerd at all of those places. I'm also an old man, and so this was still print media. I don't know if you guys remember print. They used to print things.
Really?
Yeah, it was crazy. It was like the Stone Age. But because I was a
Chisel into it too.
Yeah, no, there was a guy with a big press. His name was Steve Gutenberg, and he was just always making stuff. I got one guy. He's with me. Old-timey print heads know. And so, yeah, I was the nerd here working with these magazines. And then nerd stuff became popular. And there was a reason for me to be able to engage with my secret comic book nerddom. And they paid me for it. And I've never looked back.
Wow.
Again, Methuselah over here talking about the days of pre-digital media. I remember getting email the first time.
No.
Like, welcome to email, everybody. Here's an address. What now? Before that, we had faxes.
I do remember those days.
It's great.
Tiffany.
Me becoming a professional nerd, is that
Yeah.
the question? I was like, huh?
Turning just being a nerd to being a nerd paid to be a nerd.
Okay. I think I distinctly remember talking with my dad and him kind of being like, one day the nerds are going to take over the world. And just that is something that's always stuck with me, where it's like, how do I turn the thing that I love into something that I can actually get to do on a regular basis? And I remember seeing G4 for the first time and being like, I want to be on that show. I want to work for Attack of the Show. That's the goal. How do I do that? And I literally did everything I could to try and make that goal happen, where it was like, I went to school for broadcast journalism because I was like, if I'm going to be a host on one of those shows, I need to be the best at it. So I went to school for that. And then I did everything I could to make those things happen, where it's like, yes, I really do believe in manifesting and magic and putting it out into the universe, things that you want, but you have to take active steps to get yourself there. So I was doing the schooling for it, and then I was putting it out into the universe. And then every time I was in LA, I was trying to get meetings with the talent coordinators and stuff. And so it was like, I would take the baby steps, and then occasionally the big magic steps would happen throughout the process, where it's like, this year I'm here and I'm getting to host a panel for Magic the Gathering. I've been playing Magic for the last 10 years. And just through playing and meeting people who work there, now it's one of those things where it's like, okay, I know people who work for Wizards of the Coast, and they're like, hey, we'd love for you to host one of our panels. And that happened because I was like, hey, why don't I work with you guys? Because I love playing this stuff. So it's been kind of one of those things where it's like, you do the thing you love, and then doors open to get to work in that space. I mean, even getting to work with Marc, where it's like, we just talk about the things that we love, and it's like, hey, why don't we make a movie? Hey, why doesn't this turn into a thing?
Sure, super easy, barely inconvenient.
I mean, well, but I mean, it's one of those things where obviously there's work involved. That's where I said it's like, you put the thing out there in the space that you love, and yes, there's work involved, but you just keep kind of turning the wheel, and I feel like it kind of happens. That's the way it's happened for me.
Well, let's talk about this movie. This project. You guys have been working together on a few things.
Yes.
Talk to me about Deepest Darkest and about doing a Kickstarter to make your dream a reality.
I highly recommend it. I also highly recommend maybe therapy. There are lots of easier ways to come to grips with your own insecurities. But no, we met for breakfast during the strikes over waffles, and we had made a short film together called Splinter. And we started to think, well, let's do another thing. That was super fun. What happened to my character from that movie? And he said, well, she died in the movie. It's like, yeah, but we cut the death scene, which means she never really died. So what happened?
It's sci-fi fantasy. People never really die.
I mean, until you see a body, and maybe even not then. And then it was, well, what could have happened to this woman on the other side of this adventure? And then we just started kind of spinning the idea of getting our group of friends together, all of which make TV, all of which have always wanted to make movies. And maybe we can kickstart a thing, and it can be this kind of just playground for all of us to pick a story to tell and to weave it all into the story of this woman who survived an awful incident and has sort of semi-permanent brain damage as a result. And it blossomed into what became Deepest Darkest. And Kickstarting it is a challenge because it's always a challenge. It's always humbling to have to ultimately, hat in hand, go to an audience and say, hey, man, can you help me make my dreams come true? And thankfully they did. After lots of frustrating ourselves in front of the internet and begging and borrowing and pleading to everybody and everyone, please help us, and they did. And so we're still in the process of doing it. We're still in the process of, we shot a decent chunk of the movie already. We're looking for other partners and other help to come in and help us pull it over the finish line. But it remains this kind of wonderful moment in time where a bunch of nerds got together to make a thing because it was cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I think it's one of those things where, we hear so many people talking about the industry and how it's in a weird place and how it's so hard to get things made and, just the studio system being interesting and different. And I do think there is something to be said about working outside of the system and creating things with your friends and just, people will be like, just make a thing. Sounds very easy to be like, just make a thing. You can't just make a thing. It takes effort. And I feel very lucky that, a lot of us have worked in this industry for a really long time. And I feel very fortunate that I'm surrounded by such talented, incredible people who have been lucky enough to work in the industry for a very long time. Like Marc's been in the industry for such a long time and has such great, incredible experience and has such a wealth of knowledge, and all of the friends that we've pulled in and the talent that has been, awesome enough to say they want to be a part of this project has all of that experience as well. So I think that it's one of those things where, when people say just make the thing, we are in a very lucky position to have so many people who have so much experience that wanted to come on board with us. And then having that audience that we all have that want to help support us as well has been amazing. Like just the amount of people that showed up for us on that Kickstarter was incredible. And then getting to shoot as much as we've shot already. I can't wait for us to finish it and have something fully to show everybody. We are here at ComicCon and we're going to do a panel and talk about some stuff. And we might, maybe anybody who's here at ComicCon have some stuff to show people. I don't know.
Stuff that won't ever live on the internet.
But if you're here in San Diego, you definitely don't want to miss the panel.
You have to be in the room where it happens, or so I learned from a musical once.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I want to talk a little bit about doing stuff with your friends because the cast of this is stacked. And those are your friends.
It was the most surreal thing in the world to be on a stage with Tiffany and Rosario Dawson. And for Rosario to show up for us. One of the other directors in the project, Lamel McGee and Derek Hughes, have known Rosario forever. And we're like, hey, you think we can get Rosario? I was like, oh no, we'll send her the script. We'll see what happens. And she read it and she's like, yeah, no, I'll come and play. I'm down to clown for 3 days. And then I go off and I make a Star Wars. So if we can schedule this just right, I will happily come and do it because she's an indie kid, and she remembers and she, I think, appreciates it's a decent script. You don't need all of my time. Everybody here is professional and everybody here was pulling the oars in the same direction. And it was frankly kind of insane to be sitting on a stage and then not just to see Rosario do what Rosario did, but then to see Tiffany do what Tiffany does and to see how they met each other and how they sort of balanced their performances and calibrated off of one another. And it remains a great pleasure of mine to watch my friends punch their weight, because you always know them as friends, but you don't know them really as like, oh, this is what you do. Oh, okay. I see you. Welcome aboard. Let's go and party. And it was fantastic to see that. And yeah, it turns out if you were a decent person and you do decent work and you try not to piss anybody off, then when you send up the bat signal, people will respond. And especially if you almost never send out the bat signal. So here's the one time they asked me, let's share it.
And in that one, too, specifically, we had LaToya Morgan on directing as well, who did Duster. And having everybody on set, I mean, thank you for saying that. That was very sweet. I get awkward. But it was one of those things where I was like, just getting to be on set. I had watched Rosario for so long, and I knew her through the friend circle and stuff. But it's so different when you're on set working with people. Like, we've all known each other in this friend group for so long. But like Marc was saying, getting to actually see everyone do their thing on set and then also realizing that, like, okay, what I felt very lucky with is over the last couple of years, I've been doing a lot more theater. And so a lot of my friends have actually gotten to see me perform on stage, which being an actor in TV film, a lot of times, like your friends don't see you perform until the product's done. So I felt very confident because I know there was a show that I had done, and Mark and Derek and a couple other friends who worked on Deepest Darkest came to the show. And I remember before that specific show, I was like, well, if I screw up this show, Deepest Darkest may not happen. And afterwards they were like, oh my, they were very complimentary. So I was like, whew, okay, I guess I'm still the lead in this movie. So that helped me feel a lot more confident, because I think any actor, you're always thinking about like, okay, can I still do this? Especially after the last couple of years we've had, because there's just been less work to do. So then you get to be on set with somebody like Rosario Dawson, who's been doing it for such a long time, who I've watched so much of her work, and having that feeling of like, you're getting to work with her and then you do something and she's like, oh my God, that was awesome. And then you're like, oh, okay, I got this kind of thing. And then getting to see the footage back and, everyone being excited and just getting to be a part of something where you all realize that you're at the same level and you're making something magical together. And that just feels really incredible, and when something in your head that you've talked about with your friends for so long is actually happening. Like I remember I was driving to set on the first day that we were about to start filming, and I was in the car and I was like, don't do it, Tiffany. Because I just started tearing up and I was like, no, you can't have puffy eyes on the first day. Like, pull it together. You can do this after the third day. But it is like, there is something that is so awesome when you're getting to do the thing that you love with your friends. There's nothing like it.
Absolutely. I feel like Comic-Con is a great example of getting to celebrate with your friends. Maybe not make a movie, or maybe you do.
Well, maybe you do.
Yeah, maybe you do. I have to ask you, what is your geek hot take? For example, Star Wars is better than Star Trek. I'm not saying that's my hot take. It's just an example.
I like that you had to preface that.
Is that my, like that's pretty, like, that's a standard take.
I'm going to leave
It
that
was
one.
an example. We're moving on. Mark?
My geek hot take. Here's what I'll say. Predator 2 is as good a movie as Predator 1, except it forgot to remind an audience that they had already seen Predator 1. Because Predator 2 plays like a mystery. And it's Predator 2, guys. I know what's killing these people. Like, the characters don't know why Danny Glover is not just like, it's a Predator. I saw Predator 1. That's what the audience is saying. And so for 90 minutes of that movie, it's, what could be killing these weird Jamaican voodoo villains? And also, this was the time in like the 90s when Jamaicans were the scariest thing that Hollywood could think of for like true movies, because dreadlocks are the scariest thing ever, I suppose, to white executives. But I still love that movie, but it's a weird choice to pretend as if we didn't. That is my lukewarm 30-year-old hot take.
I loved it. Timmy?
I mean, I don't know if this is a hot take, but I would say the very best genre show on television right now is Interview with the Vampire. If you are not watching it, and I think it is a show that will stand the test of time. It's the best genre show on television right now.
Oh, I have another one.
Hit me.
Speed Racer is better than F1. Speed Racer, in case you guys don't
He was like,
remember.
Tiffany's isn't good enough. I'm going at it again.
No, because I just needed like 5 minutes to get there.
Speed Racer.
Speed Racer, the Wachowski Speed Racer,
Right.
starring Emil Hirsch and a chimp in a trunk of a car, is legit. By the last half an hour of that movie, it's fantastic, and it is maybe one of the best endings of a movie I've ever seen. And F1 only wishes it could walk the dogs of Speed Racer.
I wish
Sorry,
Brad Pitt would
Brad.
walk it right now.
Yeah. What? Bleh. That's my Brad Pitt. Is that a good one?
No.
Bleh.
All right. Recommend one sci-fi fantasy movie that not enough people have seen.
Hey, have you heard of Speed Racer?
Tiffany?
That not enough people have seen.
You shut your mouth.
That's hard. Go ahead. Go and do another one.
I'll do another one. Okay. I'll do 2. I'll do 5.
Oh my God.
I'll do a baker's dozen. No. Shin Godzilla. I will do. mostly because of being re-released to August 14th, I think, in theaters. It is the movie that walked so that Godzilla Minus One could run. But it is this kind of amazing, so I think it's made in 2015, maybe 2016. But it is a movie that is both about Godzilla and what that means to the sort of Japanese populace, but it's also a movie about these inertness and impotence of bureaucracy. And so much of that movie could be streamlined if only the red tape could be cut. And so it's this kind of amazing look at corporate malfeasance and apathy, and also Godzilla.
Okay.
But they're not like ones that not enough people have seen, but I will always rewatch Willow, Labyrinth, and then I just rewatched Practical Magic again, and I just love that movie so much.
Was it because of the sequel that they're doing?
I mean, I've seen it so many times. I just love the like midnight margaritas. Like my friends and I always want to do that.
You can.
We do.
I mean, because you like want to as if it's a thing you don't do.
I mean, because usually I'm not up till midnight.
And there it is.
So I need like more like midday margaritas.
7:30 p.m. margaritas. I get it.
But it doesn't work. It doesn't have the same ring to it.
Like you gotta,
Midday margaritas kind of works.
Now, I've never seen Practical Magic. Do they wake up to make margaritas, or were they already awake? And we're like, oh, margaritas are a great idea.
They're awake and they wake up.
They don't set an alarm, because you could do that. You could be like 11:45, margarita time.
I mean, maybe it's melatonin margarita.
That would kill you.
Maybe it's not a margarita. Maybe it's just a
My emergency Scotch cigar concoction is bad, but melatonin margaritas are fine.
Everybody watching is like, she just got way cooler.
Yes. Like, we started off the rails and just kept going.
Yep, it's true.
All right. Tiffany, introduce me to your fandom.
To my fandom.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
What are you a fan of?
Oh my gosh. There's so many things. Right now, I mean, I heard you kind of said it. I'm huge into the Interview with the Vampire space. Vampires are huge for me right now. I have been reading a lot of romantasy. I just finished a podcast. I just finished listening to a podcast about vitamin D from Diary of a CEO. So I'm very into infrared saunas right now. So, I mean, does this count
Thank
as
you
a
for the
fandom?
clarification.
All right. Mark, introduce us to your fandom.
Right now, I am kind of obsessed with Taskmaster. Are you familiar with Taskmaster?
Tell us about it.
I will tell you about it. Taskmaster is somehow the gentlest Squid Games, in that it's a competition series, kind of on from ITV, I believe. It airs on YouTube here in the States. Season 19, in the way that like Survivor's on season 50, and none of us are, well, I'm 50 years old, but never mind. It is 5 comedians are brought together to do tasks generated by a British comedian named Alex Horn. And it is both like, bring us into the stage something you'd like to see opened. And these 5 comedians will all kind of riff on what that means. And somebody will bring a brazier, and somebody will bring a coconut, somebody will bring...
Who says brazier?
Dudes.
Remind us again, you got the first email and
Yes,
use a fax machine.
Yes.
Yes. I did.
Thus
Okay.
a brazier.
Brazier.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
And then they have this compound where they will sort of stage these very elaborate pranks, are even the wrong words, but we're going to do a fast food biz. So 3 people make a team, you take the orders, you cook the food, and then you deliver the food. But all of the food is weird, and all of the money is weird, and all these comedians need to figure it out. And so I have not laughed as hard in a long time, mostly because this most recent series, Jason Mantzoukas, who's the first American invited on, who wanted to, in his words, cause chaos and engulf everything in flames. And he does. Every episode, something bursts into flames.
Amazing.
Good for you.
It is the most fun. YouTube, it's free. Just go search for Taskmaster. And then you, like I, will begin moving backwards through the years to see exactly how we got here.
Oh, the other thing I've been obsessed with lately, I just binge watched all of Hannibal.
Ooh.
So basically, it started from when I started with the Interview with the Vampire obsession. And then one of my friends was like, if you like Interview with the Vampire, you should watch Hannibal. So then I binge watched all of Hannibal.
Oh.
And if you've not watched Hannibal, highly recommend. It is also what inspired me to try cooking more. I'm not people, but that also is what.
Thank you for clarifying.
This is what
Yes.
happened when
Oh.
I tried to cook. So yeah, I burned myself while I was cooking.
I think you were just roasting.
Also, that's from a knife fight.
This is from a knife fight, not from when I dropped a chicken nugget in the oven and I tried
Yes.
to reach for it.
That's the
quickly.
new narrative, knife fighting.
What is one of your favorite Comic-Con highlight memories?
I've been going, this is my 23rd of them, so it's a little difficult to categorize because there's been some great moments.
Yeah.
My favorite moment,
One of them.
it must have been like 10 years ago. And the best part about Comic-Con for me is watching other people decide and discover what Comic-Con means to them. And so I was just walking the floor and I saw this cluster of very excitable Ghostbusters all signing to each other. And I was like, this is for everybody. Like, here's a bunch of deaf nerds who all showed up as Ghostbusters, who all kind of found each other. And I don't think they were friends beforehand, because of course I speak ASL, so I know all these things. I don't. I glean entirely from context. But that Comic-Con is A, what you make of it, and B, that your people are here if you can find them. And once you do, it is the most magical place ever. And so to see people just completely have their own convention that for them meant everything. I was like, oh, well, this is why I go. And also, I need Nathan Fillion hugs, and it's the only place I get them. So those two things, like wonderful, adorable moments on the floor, plus, yeah, you get it.
Okay.
I can't, like, I would say every year there's always new things. So far for me, this year there's already two. Last night, like I said, I'm a huge Magic the Gathering fan. And so last night there was an event that I went to, and so I got Spider-Man Magic the Gathering cards, which I was already like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited to play these cards. But then DMC performed. Aerosmith is one of my all-time favorite bands. So then he was singing Walk This Way and came over to me and held the microphone to me. And so I got to sing part of Walk This Way with DMC at a Magic the Gathering event with Spider-Man Magic the Gathering cards in my purse, which was like all of these things, a confluence of all of some of my favorite things in one place that just felt really, really cool. With some of my best friends there with me, was just like, this is all happening at once in one place. It's just awesome. So that was one thing. And then another thing here, Comic-Con is like my favorite week of all time, always. And I'm on the board for MPTF, which is the Motion Picture Television Fund. And I feel really lucky that I get to do stuff that helps this industry that I love so much. And so this year we partnered with EW and Funko, Pop Yourself. And I feel really excited because we're doing something that helps the industry at Comic-Con. Because I'm always like, how do we use this community here to do something to give back to the industry? And so we're making Funko Pop figures of the actors that are here, and they're going to sign them, and we're going to do an auction that will raise money to give back to the industry after the fires and after so much stuff that's happened. So it feels really cool to get to come to this community that I love so much and ask for help to give back to the entertainment industry and help. So that feels really cool that I got to help spearhead that with MPTF Next Gen, with this community that I love so much.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
I'm glad you asked me first, because I would not have wanted to follow that. Look, I'm going to get me some Captain Handsome hugs. Like, we're saving lives.
Listen, also I got a Labubu, so there's that too.
All right. Finally, what is something that you would camp out for Hall H for?
A Labubu, just kidding. I got it from 7-Eleven.
Which you camped outside of for the last 4 days.
No, for 2 seconds.
All right, you go first.
What would I camp out for? Oh gosh, this is a tough one for me.
Okay.
She might camp out. She got a backstage pass.
I know. That's the tragedy of it, is that of 23 years doing Comic-Con, I've never really done it as a fan. I've always been here as either a journalist or as a professional or as a comic book writer or as a TV writer or whatever, but I've never done I gotta wait to get in there? Then I'm not going in there. But I tell you what, if they decide to make a Last Starfighter 2, homie is outside room 6AB, because like it's not gonna be a Hall H panel. Nobody cares as much as I do. But I would wait for that. I'd wait for that.
I think I'm much more a person who likes experiential things. If it was something that I got to like I am not the person who likes to watch people play games or like watch people do someone else do something. So if Hall H ever did something where it's like getting to moderate the Alien Romulus panel last year, and they had the face huggers that went all around the floor and stuff. I'm like, if I knew there was going to be something where like I could experience something or like try something out for myself, that I would wait in line for something like that in Hall H. Cause yeah, I like to actually like get my hands dirty and like do stuff.
You know what I'd wait for?
What?
The deepest, darkest panel.
That I would wait for that too, but guess what? We would be on it. So
But we'd also wait for it.
yeah, too. I'd wait for it, and then I'd put myself on that stage. You know what else I'd wait for? As a Tana panel that I would be on.
Manifesting.
Just putting it out there.
Love it. Thank you guys so much for joining us.
Yay!